Good morning, Shavua Tov, and welcome to the Parak of the week. Today we are looking at the third teaching in the first chapter of Pirke Avot, which reads as follows. Antigonos of Socho received the tradition from Shimon the Just. He used to say, "Be not like servants who serve their master on condition of receiving a reward. Rather, be like servants who serve their master not on condition of receiving a reward, and be in awe of heaven." What we see in Pirke Avot is the transmission of the tradition from one generation to the next. And it's always important to honor the teacher from whom we learned. So Antigonos is recognizing Shimon the Just, whose words we saw last week. Antigonos is a Greek name. He is the first prominent Jewish teacher of whom we hear who has a Greek name. This is the early 2nd century BCE, and we are beginning to see the impact of Hellenism in the Jewish world. When we talk about this master whom we are serving, the Hebrew word is Rav, which can be understood either as a teacher or as God as our ultimate master. So let's try to understand it both ways. If we understand Rav as our teacher, then we know that we have a mandate to learn from everyone. If everyone is our teacher, then Antigonos is telling us that we should care for each other unconditionally without expectation of reward. If we understand Rav as referring to God, then we do mitzvot because we understand them as God's will, and this is part of our covenant relationship with God. It's important to note that in this historical period, with the influence of Hellenism, reward is emerging to mean a reward in the world to come. The ideal, according to Antigonos, is for us to be self-motivated to do the right thing. We should not view our religious life and the practice of our tradition as a chore. He concludes with this idea of yirat shamayim, often translated as fear of God. I'm translating it here as awe of God. If we truly imagined that we were in God's presence at every moment, what a deep sense of awe we have. And as we read this teaching, we can ask ourselves, how would we act in any given moment if we really imagined ourselves to be in the presence of God? As we read the words of Antigonos, we ask, where is the source of our individual motivation? If we come from a place of love, we have a desire to please, a desire to give without expectation of reward, as opposed to a fear of negative consequences. Something to reflect on this week.